Hi, this is Winston Wang. In this video, we're going to explore how Device Central can be used with Flash CS3 to create flashlight content for mobile phones and devices. Let's start with device information. Device Central provides a lot of detailed information about a device's flashlight capabilities. Let's take a look at them. In the Available Devices panel, I'll open up the Mitsubishi folder and select one of their phones. This happens to be a Japan market phone on the NTT Docomo network. As you can see, the profile shows up on the right and is nicely laid out with an image of the device, as well as a lot of detailed profile information. The profile is basically organized by the supported media types. This includes Flash, Bitmap, Video, and Web. Let's select Flash. For those upgrading from Flash Professional 8, you can see we're providing a lot more information than before. And each piece of information can have a huge effect on the content's performance and capabilities. So the better you know what they mean, the better designer or developer you're going to be, and the better your content's going to be. Up here, for example, you can see the Flashlight Player version. Different versions of Flashlight support different features and ActionScript. So it's important to note which version is on your device. Below it is the addressable screen size for this content type. It's important because it needs to be taken into account when setting up the canvas size for a project. Other important types of information are FS command support, input mechanism and sound support, text support, and file access support. Something experienced flashlight developers are going to appreciate is the information we now provide on memory limits and flashlight rendering performance per device. Here you can see we provide both the static and dynamic heap size limits for this phone. Knowing the heap size limits is important so you can craft your content within the memory allotted by the device and avoid crashes and freezing during playback of your content. Flashlight rendering performance is also now available. It's represented by the new Flash Performance Index number for each device. This gives you a relative sense of how fast your flashlight content will run from device to device. The cool thing is these numbers aren't just for you to read and keep in mind. In a minute, I'll show you how Device Central uses these numbers to parameterize its preview environment when testing content. Finally, it's important to keep in mind this information can differ across content types. Seeing, knowing, and accounting for these differences is a big part of mobile authoring planning. Much of it stays the same, but some attributes will differ. For example, keep your eye on the input, sound, and addressable screen size information as I change content types. They're different. Okay, so that was the flashlight information in device profiles. Next, let's look at the new document workflow for Flash. Device Central helps you create a flashlight project by facilitating the new document workflow. This allows you to pick which devices you want to author for, then presents you with options including an analysis of the minimum number of source files you'll need to create and still get great results on every phone. To do this, we'll first select a set of devices to author for. I'm going to pick every Nokia phone by selecting the Nokia folder here in the tree. Next, we'll select File, New Document In, then Flash. This brings up the new document workspace where I'm presented with all the target devices organized by their addressable screen sizes. This is great because I can now see that for the 25 different devices I need to create for, Device Central is telling me I only need to create 6 different versions of my project. This maps to the 6 unique addressable screen sizes across all 25 target devices. This automatic analysis is one of the ways Device Central saves you a lot of time. Of course, if you want to take a different approach for creating your project, say a one-size-fits-all strategy, you can check the Custom Size checkbox here and select whatever resolution you think will work well on these devices. Okay, great. Now that we're in Flash, let me show you how Device Central helps with the preview and testing process in flashlight development. I'm going to preview an existing Flash project I've already got loaded. This is a sample application for a fictitious company called Aquo and a sports event it's sponsoring. The app is meant for a variety of different phones. Let's run the test movie command and preview the app in Device Central. Okay, so now you can see the app in the emulator preview environment. There are many things you can do here. You can view and interact with flashlight content. So as I mentioned earlier, memory limits are valuable pieces of information you need to know about each device. Device Central uses this information to show the memory ceiling in a real-time memory monitor you can see over here. It shows you how much static heap and dynamic heap memory your content is using at any time. You can interact with your content and get a sense of when and why your content may have a jump in memory consumption, for example. You can then go back to Flash and make an adjustment on how you construct your Flash project to deal with it and then get the memory usage under control. So let me show it to you in action. As I interact with the content, you can see the memory jumping up as I transition to another scene. The graph shows you what you've used and how much memory you have left. Another great feature is flashlight performance simulation per device profile. As I mentioned before, every device with flashlight has had a test conducted on it that measures its rendering performance, resulting in a flashlight performance index number. This test measures things like vector, bitmap, and text rendering performance on the phone. What we're doing now is we're going to run the same test on my PC to measure its flashlight rendering performance, which will of course be a lot faster. And what you're seeing is the bitmap, vector, text, and other kinds of rendering functions being tested. Device Central then uses the results of both tests, the one in the device profile and the one I just ran, to mimic the on-device performance of this phone. Let me show you the difference in performance using this example content. I'm going to check Simulate Performance, and as you can see, there is a difference in the frame rate. So both the memory and rendering performance features should be a big help in giving you a sense of the envelope, so to speak, you have to work within for each device. Okay, so finally, Device Central allows you to simulate different device state conditions that could affect flashlight content. For example, this app uses the date and time from the device to drive what's displayed on the application's UI. To test this in the past, you would have to export the project into Swift format, transfer it to an actual phone, change the phone's date and time settings, load the flashlight content, and then finally see if it was behaving properly. This could take a lot of time. This, by the way, is also still recommended before you publish your content, but early on in the design development phase of the project, on-device testing can really slow things down. But with Device Central, I can change the date and time right here without going to the device and see the effect immediately on the screen. Device Central also allows you to change volume, battery level, language, time zone, network connection status, signal strength, even the amount of persistent storage, and more. So you can really get a sense of what the device is doing and change the state quickly. All of this should add up to huge time savings for flashlight developers and will help novices as well as experts. So that's a general overview of Device Central and flashlight authoring. We hope it makes a difference in your work.